This is Rico the Opinionist on this Valentine's. Yeah, what the hell with that? I got on my red anyway, but the hell with that. This is Rico the Opinionist. It's spelled Opinionist. And I want to invite you to go to my YouTube channel where this video will be playing. And subscribe to my channel. Hey, they're getting better by the day. I swear they are. And I want you to go to my Rico the Opinionist Facebook page where this video will be playing. And just kind of keep up because I'm getting pretty good at making these videos a little more often. And I'll be shifting around. I had to find a really serene place where I can kind of talk to you all today. Those of you who've been keeping up with my video posts and even my writing on my blog, Rico the Opinionist, I'm pretty political a lot of times, and I talk about what's going on in today's society, what's going on with people of African descent in this country as well as worldwide. I talk about a lot of things, what's going on in the black community, how we're behaving, how I think we should change some things in order for us to see that utopia that so many of us we strive for on a daily basis. And so, but today, well, this is, I guess, in addition to. Today I want to talk about mental health, mental illness. But let me say this first. This past week, a young man who by the name of Marshawn McCarroll, he's a member of Black Lives Matter. And he was out of Ohio, Cleveland, when the Tamir Rice situation jumped off. He's one of the first and few. He was one of the few who stepped out front to share his disgust or share his dismay at what occurred. And he became really popular and in the Black Lives Matter movement. But this past week, news report came out that he took his own life, but one gunshot, and killed himself. And before he killed himself, he supposedly or allegedly, and I'll say allegedly, killed himself. He sent out a message on Facebook saying that I pissed on the steps of the State House of Ohio, and he also said that my demons have gotten the best of me. Now I can go into there's something fishy about that whole thing. And I think a lot of us who are thinking people can believe there's something fishy about it. This guy was all over the place. He had just left the NAACP Image Awards with his mom. And in his background said he was homeless for a while. And he did a lot of things, young youth mentoring program. He did a lot of stuff, had a lot to live for. He was only 23 years old. And so, yes, I'm always suspicious about something like that when a black man stands up to let his voice be heard. Or they used to say, speak truth to power. Strange things begin to happen. And if you want some examples of that, just go back and read the history. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King from 65 to 68, and others. It's interesting how that happens. But today I want to talk about, because a lot of people were saying, hey, mental illness is really deep in the black community. And mental illness goes unaddressed far too often in the black community. So I'm going to let the suspicious or the conspiracy theory thing go. And I don't believe in conspiracy theories because I have intelligence and I'm pretty cool about the way history has been written in this country as it relates to black men and women who stand up and speak truth to power. But I do want to take this moment to address mental illness in the black community. And as one who is a master's level social worker for the past 16 years and licensed chemical dependency counselor in the state of Texas, I'm a licensed master social worker. And my clients have been those who struggle with substance abuse, substance addiction or dependence, and mental illness or mood disorders such as bipolar disorder, major depression, schizophrenia, schizoaffective, and so on. General anxiety disorder. So that's what I do when I'm not making videos. And if you checked out some of my recent videos, I would say, hey, I'm off to work to try to attempt to save lives. And that's the truth. But I want to become more specific. There was a young woman last year, Brown Girls Matter, Brown Girls Rock. She committed suicide, and you wonder, like, wow, what's going on with these activists, young activists who are not even 30 years old? They're taking their lives, and well, we're talking about depression, and depression, particularly in black boys and black men. Emotions, period, in black boys and black men. And there's something about that, how we as men don't like to talk about what's ailing us or what hurts our feelings because of all the constructs around. Or men are supposed to suck it up, and boys don't cry, men don't cry. Well, let me tell you something about depression. As a survivor of major depression in the 90s up into the early 2000s, let me tell you something, there's nothing to play with. And I haven't, personally, I'm doing great, I'll say that, without any medication. But I often sometimes think that I can use just a little something, a little small milligram of something to help me. I do continue in 2015, 16. I still have what is called melancholy moments or melancholy days, and that's just melancholy is like brief bouts of depression. And one thing about depression, it's like high blood pressure. It's a silent killer. It just creeps up on you, and it makes you feel like, why am I here? Or it gives you this deep sense of hopelessness and helplessness. And you just, sometimes you just want to lie down and not get up. Or you feel, well, maybe others would benefit more if I were not here. Or you feel like things aren't moving fast enough. And I felt like that for a lot of years. And I tried to mask those feelings with alcohol. Yeah. I tell my clients all the time that, Mr. Rico was drunk from 1996 to 2002 officially. And ran my car off the road drunk. Luckily, no one was hurt. I wasn't hurt. No DUIs and all of that. So a lot of knocking on wood, if you will. But I'm still here, and I still have thoughts. Have I ever had any thoughts of suicide? I've shared with friends, and I've even written recently on one of my Facebook blogs that sometimes I think I was born too soon. And because, when you're one of those persons who this thing is wide open, you see things that are happening, and you try to put information out there, and you believe that people don't care. It does weigh on you, as well as other things. But one thing about it, sometimes I believe that maybe I was born too soon, but I'm always careful, and I train myself not to believe it. Because you can have the thoughts, but when you begin to believe it, that's when the trouble sets in. And with the suicidal ideation, as they call it, what happens is you have departments in your brain, and when you begin, and you have chambers, or I call them little doors, they're called options. When all of the doors in your brain have been locked, meaning there are no more options that you can think of, well, suicide becomes the only option. I don't know what happened to that young man. I don't know what was going on with him. A lot of people are assuming because he said my demons got the best of me, and they just took it to mental illness. But I just want to say to black men, period, because one thing about depression, it doesn't see race, doesn't see gender, but I know for our men who look like me, we don't view it as something that we need to go and see a counselor about. As one who's been a counselor for 16 years, I've always advocated going to talk to somebody, because we have this stigma in our community. I think a lot of us believe that counseling is a cuss word, or I'm not going to tell my business to anybody else. Well, young men, older men, middle-aged men, if it's something that's bothering you, it's no shame in talking to somebody. Because I'm glad I went to somebody to talk to, and I'm glad that I have people in my life that I can talk to. And sometimes I feel like, maybe just a little something, because you have these racing thoughts, and sometimes you just don't want to get up. And sometimes you have, this overwhelming sense of fatigue. It's just like, it's almost like you're forcing yourself. I have those days. I continue to have those days, but luckily I do open my eyes. I get up and I get out, and I try to stay occupied and doing something, writing, going to work, going out, trying to do something, because if you find yourself remaining stagnant, that's when trouble happens. I made this video because depression is a major deal. Mental illness is a major deal in my community. And I want us to go and talk to somebody. Men, please, don't do the macho thing with your mental health. Don't do it. Because we didn't become men. We didn't become 47. We didn't become 25 or 15 overnight. We had to have a childhood. There are issues that begin from childhood that lead up to this, or some kind of traumatic episodes that happen. There are issues in our lives, men and women. But one thing about women, let me say this. There's a reason women outlive us about 7.5 years, or sometimes 10 years, because women will talk to each other. They will get on the phone if they have to cry, scream, cuss, throw furniture, move stuff around. They do that, and that stuff is healthy. It is healthy to get angry. A lot of us suppress it. It is healthy to express what is hurting you. There's nothing feminine about crying, men. Sometimes we might need to do that. There's nothing about it, because everything that's about us as human beings, it is on purpose, and it comes at an appropriate time. If you are hurting, you're supposed to express, I'm hurting. My feelings have been hurt. My pride, my ego, everything, you're supposed to express it, but in a way that is healthy. But we will not, for the life of me, express a deep-seated hurt of disappointment, or, feeling abandoned, or feeling unloved or unwanted. See, a lot of our boys, believe it or not, a lot of our men feel unwanted and unloved. And they don't know where to go, who to talk to, because, everything's supposed to be cool. And if we don't talk to each other, if we talk to each other, expressing our feelings, it's gay. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, the police is killing us and we're killing each other and all of that stuff is going on. But a lot of this can stop if black men could talk to each other. I'm always open to talking. I talk to all my friends. And some friends I tell some things, some I just tell, just here and there. But I have a couple who I tell everything to, and that helps out a lot. And I just want us to not allow ourselves to be backed into this mental or emotional corner. Because depression is a deep thing. It creeps up on you and it takes hold of your life. And, if you don't get help for it, it will take you out. And so I made this video because I want us men to start talking to each other. Hell, we've cussed each other out long enough. And do me a favor. If you see me, say, hey, Rico, you doing all right? I'm not going to take offense. Say, yeah, man, I'm doing all right today. If you see another brother and he has this scowl on his face, his mug, just say, hey, man, how you doing today? Would you do me that favor? Ladies, y'all can really help. If you see a man, you don't know, a young man, or he just has this mug, just smile and say, how are you? You'd be surprised how you could be saving somebody's life. So I just want to share that. And we have to help each other through this. All right, peace.